The problem is that people are chasing the money. Stop chasing the money. Money comes and goes. You got to chase your passion, and you got to be great at it. Because a lot of kids, they, like for example, everybody says, "Oh, Eddy G, Eddy G, Eddy G." Yeah, Eddy G's been fucking working his ass off for 26 years.
I want to thank me.
Hey. Wow.
1 2 1 2.
That's an introduction, Eddie. The man eat hour. We saved the best for last, Eddie. I hope
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hope that's not too much pressure for you.
Come on, man. This is my hood.
Hey, thank you. Yes, it is. This is your house. This is your house.
You can never be uncomfortable when you're home.
Let's go. Listen, thank you for having us first and foremost. We really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys being here. You know, this is beautiful what you guys are doing. Networking. I see everybody here. Most of the people here from Elizabeth. And is obviously, you know, professionals that want to see the city grow. And you know, anything that has to do with growth of my city, you can always count me in, man.
Listen, that is something that I've seen and heard you say for years now. And I don't think a lot of people know that about you. They know you as the club owner. They know you as the DJ. They know you as a fantastic promoter of parties and events. But I don't think they know that part of you. Shed some light on that.
Listen, this is what it comes down to. You know, I'm originally from New York. I grew up in the projects. Didn't have much, you know, to gain from New York. And I come to the city, and as with a DJ gig, and all of a sudden the city adapts me, and all of a sudden my life changes. So, you know, the typical mindset is, let's make money and let's get out of the hood. Fuck that. Let's make money and let's make the hood where you want to live. That's what you want to do. Because it's very easy to make money and leave. I could live anywhere I want. But this is home. And if I could, and I could keep passing down my success to other people and keep making it uncomfortable. Because comfort is what makes people get stale, and that's why they pretty much lose it. Here, being uncomfortable is what makes people step up the game. And look, that's why all you guys are here. Because you guys are getting out of your comfort zones. You guys are not going to do what everybody else is doing. And that's what's going to make us grow as a team. That's what's going to make us grow as a city, our companies. But the idea is to teach the young people that when you make money, you don't have to leave. You could, you know, all these buildings that at one point you could buy it for your own kids. You could buy it for, you know, and let's make our neighborhoods better. Why do we have to leave our city to enjoy something nice? Nah, let's make everything nice in our city and have those people come to our town and spend their money over here.
That's incredible to hear, and I know that you've done things in the past that you don't even talk about. For example, the music program that you've done in Elizabeth High School. What motivates you to do that? Where did that come from? When did that start for you?
Well, this is what it came down to. Music changed my life. Many people don't know I'm dyslexic, so when it came down to being in school, it was very difficult for me because when I was in special ed, they had my program until I was in 8th grade. When I went to high school, that program didn't exist no more. So being in a class of 10, 12 people to now going to a classroom of 40 made it very difficult for me. But music was my passion. So I sold empanadas in a corner. I used to live in the projects, like I said. With that money, I bought my first DJ equipment. I started doing parties. And then I started making real money. At 15, I was making between $500 and $1,000 at that age. We're talking about back in the 90s. You know, that's not the average money a young person would make. Right. And then obviously I started doing hooky parties. I used to, you know, throw parties in empty apartments, and I used to charge to get in. And whenever I wasn't doing that, I was renting halls, and I was charging admission. So I learned that, you know, to make money, it's not, you see, I'm a DJ, but my passion is how do I turn my art and make it give me money? Well, the only way to do that is control every avenue, every aspect of the industry. So that's why I'm a DJ, but I also own my club. and I don't have to worry about am I gonna get booked somewhere. That's you see, you could you could try to be part of the routine or create your own, and I prefer to create my own.
I see recently you've been talking a lot about the experience that you have in your clubs and your events. So talk about that. Why is that so important to you?
Look, it's plain and simple, man. An experience is one thing that nobody ever forgets. You know, you could live every single day in your life, and you might remember a few things here and there, but when something impacts you, you never forget. Look, let's use a tragedy for an example. Nobody's ever gonna forget this pandemic. No one's ever gonna forget 9/11. Those are impact experiences that we have. There could be positive ones and there could be negative. I'm sure that everybody here remembers that one person they fell in love with, that one kiss, that one special moment. Everything that was normal after that, you're not gonna, you'll remember once in a while, but it's not gonna stay in your head. So I say, if that's how life works, let's change it around. Let's make every single time that we could do something in our professional lives, let's turn it into an experience. Because when you turn it into an experience, you're not gonna get forgotten. You only get forgotten is when people always see the same thing over and over, and there's nothing else to look forward to. So, what's my goal? My goal is to take this nightlife industry and do something massive with it that now I have people from all over the country flying in to an event that I'm doing. And that's the key there. Key is to build the experience. If you look, one of my favorite clubs, believe it or not, is Coco Bongo in Cancun. When you go to Coco Bongo Cancun, there's so much going on that you never forget. So I'm like, how can we turn that into a nightlife in Jersey? And that's why now we're building a monster that's gonna hold 5,000 people, legal occupancy. Wow. That's gonna be the completion of Barcode. And then on top of that, we are gonna have one of the biggest rooftops in the state of New Jersey. And at that point, we probably will hold about 7,000 people at one given time. So that's my goal.
When did that amount of motivation start in you? I mean, I can't imagine that 20 years ago you thought that this was possible.
Well, I've obviously grown, and I've taken more chances as more challenges were overcome. Because there's challenges that could put you in a bad position, but if you learn how to overcome it, then it's just a piece of cake after that. And that's what I did. I let those challenges hit me. I learned how to overcome them, and now I'm like, wait, shit, I already did 2,000 people. Let me shoot for 4,000. Now let me shoot for 5. And that's why I'm not scared into what I'm doing. But I study markets. Like, for an example, everybody's saying, but why have a place that's so big? Well, you start doing the math. If anybody ever here did an event at a theater or did an event at, like, say, for example, Prudential Center, the cost of doing a concert, let's say the venue brings in 13,000 people. The first 8,000 to 9,000 people is just to break even. So you're only making money on 3,000 to 4,000 people. That's it. But you have to sell 9,000 tickets first before you could say, I'm making $1. Now, that's why I'm changing the game. I'm building a promoter's dream. Because now at my new venue, you'll be making money within the first 1,500 people. Because the first 1,500 people is to cover the cost of the artist. Right. So if you want to do an event at Barcode and you do 5,000 people, with 3,500 people above that, you already made the profit that you would have made in a bigger place with not even a tenth of the investment. So that's why I'm not scared to take that chance. Because now, instead of me going after the $30,000, $40,000 artists, now I could go for the $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 artists.
So, listening to you speak, I think this is a part of you that a lot of people don't know. You sound so well versed. Obviously, you're highly successful in this industry. How do you go about getting information, educating yourself, and learning? Listen,
my whole thing. I'm a big dreamer, man. Like, I definitely think way outside the box. And like, for example, what does the Prudential Center have to do with a place like Barcode? Nothing. You see concerts, right? But I use their model to perfect the one that I'm building now. Because I know that if you're a promoter and now you're gonna do an event, it's gonna cost you first 800,000 to 900,000 before you even start making a dollar at these venues. With me, I'm bringing you to the front of the line. You don't even have to invest that money. So what I'm doing is I'm adapting another concept into an industry that I want to put myself into now. So it allows me to I don't look at other people. I just try to create new concepts within. Like for example, just look at Lobby, right? It's a sports bar, but it's a nightclub, but it's a restaurant, and you have everything at once. And look, and we're up here doing this beautiful event. So a lot of people, they make the mistake, oh, I want to open up a club. Okay, you open up a club and now you're down to 2 days a week. Now you have a kitchen, now you have 7 days a week. Now you have a kitchen with TVs, and now you can come and see sports. So that's why the slogan to this is eat, chill, and play. You could come over here, you could shoot some pool, you could hang out, but then, oh shit, it's Saturday night, it's a full blown out club. But we're a sports bar, but you don't see one helmet on the wall. You don't see jerseys on the wall. Why? Because if I'm taking out my wife or my girlfriend, I don't want her to say, why are you taking me out to a sports bar, right? So it's creating your own version of your own niche. And that's what I've done. You see, if I'm going to copy something, it's going to be something that I really look up to. And in order for me to do that, I usually fly out. I go to Mexico a lot. Miami, there's doing great things out there. So if you want to copy, you always want to copy things, just little bits and pieces from different, create your own version of it.
So you fly around to see what everybody else is doing,
100%.
to see how you can adapt or integrate that into your
100%.
business. So learning is part of your model.
If I want to keep growing, I have to.
You know what's a funny thing about you? I've known, I'm from Elizabeth, born and raised, right? And everybody swears they know Eddy. Like, oh, I know Eddy, I know Eddy, I know Eddy. But I also noticed about you from watching you, at least on social, is that you seem to have a very tight circle. Is that the case? And if that is the case, how do you build a team around you in order to get this kind of success?
Look, when I do my projects, one thing that I don't do anymore, I don't look for financial investors. A financial investor that does not know the industry he's getting into, he just wants to be in the business, will probably be your biggest headache. So I prefer the American dream. Save some money, make sure your credit is on point, and give opportunities to those people that work with you, that are showing you that they're the reason why you have to work less. So what do? I give partnerships away to people that I know are gonna carry on my dream without me having to be there. Wow. And that's the key. And everybody wins.
That's amazing, but in order to do that, you got to know that person, feel that person, and see what that person's about, right?
That person I get to know. Listen, I don't need to go to their house. They don't need to come to mine. I just need to see their hunger. Good hunger and a good paperwork, why not?
Let me ask you a question, because I mean, you've been doing it for so long. How do you keep yourself motivated? What keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is that I'm putting opportunities in people that would probably have to work their whole life to even get close to it. And that's my motivation. Because if I win, that means that they're winning. And I get to carry out this dream how I tell people, don't take your money out, invest it where you live. And how I can't buy a piece of property, but I could build an army of people that know how to make money with me and have them do the same thing. And if they buy and I buy and we're all buying and we're all in sync in the same concept, trust me, that's how you make things happen.
Let's talk about that for a second, Eddy. I think that's a lost art in today's society. Is the idea of helping other people win will eventually help you win.
100%.
Why do you think that people are losing sight of that?
Because our Latin culture, you know, most of our parents, I'm not speaking for everybody here, but I know a lot of our parents probably didn't have the opportunities. And what does every parent do? I want to give my son or my daughter what I never had, okay? So they don't realize that by giving something away, you have a better chance of gaining way more but it's not. It was never. It was never taught to us, because we were always taught make every dollar and put it away, or we live in a society that make a dollar and go spend two. So we never educated our kids to continue growing. I do that different. I believe that I'm gonna build more with hardworking people that they would they will cherish forever. And you know what? Believe it or not, I saw that in a movie. The Founder. If you remember The Founder, when he was selling his franchise to other business people, they started changing, and every one of them, when they started selling wings, and they all started selling a bunch of shit that had nothing to do with the brand. And he said, fuck that. Took all his shit back. And he started giving opportunity to the hardworking people behind the line. And those people appreciated that so much that that was the beginning of the growth of his company. And then the second part to the growth of his company was own your real estate. That was the second part. And to me, that movie stuck. That's probably has been one of the most impactful movies that I've seen in my life.
It's amazing. The Founder, if you haven't watched it. Two-part question, and I'm going to wrap up with this one. What's a piece of advice that you would have given yourself 20 years ago that you wish you would know today? And also, second part of that question, somebody in the audience that maybe is just getting started, a kid out there is going to watch this video. They want to win. They don't know how to do it. They don't think they can. They don't have the resources to do it. How does that kid win?
All right. First one, be careful with politics. That's the number one.
Talk about that for a second.
You know, the problem about politics, whether it's here or anywhere, everybody has a different view of politics. Look, I'm a Democrat because I'm from Elizabeth, but I'm a Republican all day long. Now, to many people, they'll be like, what the fuck, this and that. You know what? I respect everybody's opinion. Politics in our industry plays a big role because you're in a business that you obviously control from all different departments. So you want to make sure that you build relationships with politics. You don't want to be in an industry that obviously is controlled by government and not have a clue how to do it right, not have a clue how to, how to take your business to the next level. So when you have relationships with people, you obviously get, if you don't know, if you haven't been around, you might associate yourself with the wrong people. So that's why I'm saying politics is not a bad thing. It's just you always need to make sure that you know who you're associating yourself with. Thank God that I've had, in my city, I've had a great relationship with all, city officials, with, all different departments. But when I first started, I didn't have those relationships. So when you ask me the question, what is it that you would have done different? I wish I would have known the politics when I started. Because I probably lost a lot of money and I lost a lot of good opportunities because I didn't know who to go to. So the first thing in any industry that you're going to do, the first thing you want to do, you want to make sure that you are going to places and you're going to grow, but you want to make sure you have the blessing. Don't ever go in there saying, oh, fuck that. I have the right to do this and I have the right to do that. Listen, you're never going to win. You got to go in. You got to understand who the people in power is. You got to make sure you get the right blessings. And you also got to make sure you keep your word. Because you don't want to go to somebody that's going to go bat for you, and then you're going to go do the wrong thing and now make them look bad. So it's a give and take, Sure. But if I wish that I would have known that when I was 19 years old when I first started.
Great piece of advice. What about that kid who wants to win and succeed, doesn't know how to do it?
Look, it all comes down to this, man. If you know what you want to do because it's in your heart. You just got to chase that dream, man. Because if you want the shortcut, that's all you're going to get. You're going to get an easy way in, and you're probably going to lose it because you don't know how to that was not really your true passion. So these guys want to just come in right now and say, "Oh, I want to be I want to do what he's doing. Yeah, but it took me 26 years. This didn't happen overnight. I didn't build this empire that I've been blessed to build because I took shortcuts. Listen, I lost my finger doing construction in one of my places. And, you know, it doesn't get any harder from that, man. It's like people want to skip the line. People want to become an overnight sensation. Listen, and it happens. There are people who become overnight sensations. But for every one of those, there's probably 2 million that don't. So just believe in yourself, chase the dream, stop chasing the money, and become great at what you do. And trust me, the money will come. Don't chase the money.
That's fantastic, Eddie. How can people connect with you, Eddie? What's next for Eddy G? How can people connect with you, and what's next for Eddy G?
What's next for Eddy G? Right now we're working on Barco, New York. A good friend of mine, and this is what good karma comes down to, right? About 14 years ago, I had a guy come to me at Cocobongo, and he's like, "Yo, I want to open up a club. I got a lot of friends, but I keep going for them for advice, and they give me the runaround." And I told him, "Yeah, where you want to do it?" He told me the neighborhood he wanted to do it. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's when I used to live in New York." Well, it ends up being that he used to own the gym downstairs from a pool hall that I used to go to all the time. So I immediately gave him all the pointers on how to open up a bar. And he had a bar that lasted 12 years. But he always stayed in the gym business. Obviously, after pandemic, the gym business has taken a massive hit. So he's like, "Yo, I got this amazing gym. I got another 20 more years to go with this lease. Let's transform this place." And the place literally is like a fucking club. It has mezzanines. It has the whole thing. All I got to do is take the equipment out, build new bathrooms, and I'm ready to go. So good karma comes from those people that you help out. When did I ever think that this guy was going to come back to me 14 years later and say, "Yo, I got this place. Let's do it"? New York City, you know, it's all about, you know, knowing the right people. And you know, the guy's been there for all those years. So I think it's going to be a home run. And that's a great location. It's not going to be as big as this one here, but it's still going to hold 1,500 people. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Congratulations on that, Eddie. And how can people connect with you even after this event?
Guys, it's my social media. Eddy G1 on Instagram, Facebook, I think it's Eddie Gomez. And my number, you guys want my number? You can write it down. I'll give it to you. 908-906-6365.
I hope you guys wrote that down. He said it real quick. Eddy G, guys, give him a hand.
Thanks a lot, people. God bless.